And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, March 20th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Wednesday morning, and if you look outside, you don't see any frost, or if you see any, it's very little this morning. Temperature, 40, 38, somewhere in that neighborhood, but no frost to speak of. We are happy to have you with us, and we are, of course, very happy to be on the air for Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Melinda Bounds is with us this morning. Melinda, Senior Vice President and Relationship Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And you actually got here before I did.
I did. It's an early morning.
Yeah. Well, how long you been with the bank?
A little over 18 years. I started in December of 2005.
Oh, wow. Well, you've been there nearly all the time.
Yeah, just about.
Honestly, I didn't realize. It was celebrating 20 years in a month.
That's right.
In April.
In April. Mm-hmm.
So you've been there roughly 18 and a half of those 20 years.
That's right. I have,
well,
yeah.
You know a lot then.
Well, I know enough to be dangerous, maybe. I don't know. But yes, I do.
Well, we do have a sad note this morning, and I think a lot of our time is going to be devoted to this, but I'll let you tell us.
Yeah, thank you. Bob's dad, Robert's grandfather, and a very dear friend of mine, a mentor of mine, Willie McDonald. He passed away yesterday morning early, very peacefully. He had been kind of had a decline in health about 3 weeks ago, and just didn't pull out of it. But he would have been 92 years old on the 27th of this month. So what a banking legend he was. He started out, and I'm sure you've heard this story, he started out as a clerk with Third National Bank when he was 18 years old, and worked his way up and retired after 53 years at Third National, which was SunTrust at that time, And then he had a little stint with Regions, and then in 2004, when Cedarstone Bank opened and formed, he came on board with Bob. And, I mean, what an asset he has been for all those years. And then 2019, he officially retired after 70 years.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, he certainly left his imprint on the Nashville banking community. And so many people that I have seen, if we started talking about banking, you mentioned Willie McDonald, and they knew him and knew of him. And that says a lot.
Well, and I had the honor, when I started with the bank in 2005, my role when they hired me was to open and manage the Donaldson office. So I had the pleasure and honor and whatever else to work with Willie for 8 years, side by side in that branch. So I was very, very fortunate to be able to do that. He taught me so much, and, there were things that I would write down that Willie would say. We've been calling them Willieisms, But he was so community-oriented. He believed in, building relationships, and that's the way that the bank is still now. It's about community and building those relationships, and we got that from him.
Well, I remember, and I think I actually asked him this. If I didn't, I've heard this story anyway. Somebody asked him, did he remember all the people he had lent money to? And the answer was no, but he remembered those that didn't pay him back.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that's still true in the banking world. If you don't have to call them, you don't, ask for a payment, then you tend to just let things ride. But, that's very true. He was always building relationships. He was always meeting people. He was at every function if he could make it. If there were 3 in one night, he'd be there, even for a little time. And one of the things that always stuck with me is when he was talking to somebody and that he didn't know or, was trying to just make conversation, he would always ask them, who is your banker?
Oh.
And inevitably, they would say, well, SunTrust or Regions or name a bank.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, that's not what I ask you. I didn't ask you where you banked. I asked you who your banker is. And that's so true. It is. It's so true. You can bank anywhere, but do you have a banker that you can walk in that door and talk to? And so I still think about that today, and that's just one of the little Willie-isms that I have learned over the years.
Do you have anything about funeral arrangements or anything?
No, sir, okay. I don't. I know that they're in the process of working on that, but I don't know. I'm not privy to that yet. So.
Well, I'm glad they sent you out this morning, and glad that we can talk about Willie.
Yeah.
And Yeah, 70 years. That's a career for sure.
That is. There's not many people that can say they stuck with something for 70 years. I don't know anybody else. I mean, you guys might, but I don't know anybody that can say they were in the same line of work or worked for 70 years. And that's another Willieism. He says, I don't go to work. I go into the office. That's another Willieism. So, he was full of little things like that.
I want you to write down a number of those.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind sharing it with me, and it'll be something for us to talk about here in time to come.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that for you. Right. Yeah.
Well, we got to just mention you can get that Simply Better free checking account at Cedarstone. We haven't done much commercial talk this morning, but that's kind of your signature product.
It is. It's the cornerstone of the bank. Get your checking account, mobile banking, online banking, mobile deposit, everything. It's free. It's just as simple as that. It's free.
A good way to start that relationship.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for being with us this morning, Melinda. We appreciate it. Again, you've been there 18 and a half of the 20 years with Cedarstone.
Right. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you as well.
Melinda Bound, Senior Vice President, Relationship Manager, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. We're 11 after the hour, and this is the Wednesday that Mark Hinesley pays a visit to our studio and talks about the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, the Mount Juliet community, and whatever else is on his mind. You're going to talk about the Indiana Hoosiers this morning. And by the way, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It was a good morning until the Indiana Hoosiers got brought into the conversation. No, they tanked this year. Very frustrating, but...
Did they make the NIT?
They refused the bid.
Oh, okay.
They turned down the bid, as a number of other big former Blue Bloods did. But, that's I don't know. I think we're going to look back and see the portal wasn't particularly good for college basketball.
Well, let's change the subject abruptly here. What's going on?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, we send our regrets and sympathies to Bob and Melinda and all the whole team, the McDonald family. I've known Willie for a quarter of a century or more, and knew Melinda when she started at the bank. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they might be celebrating 20 years in business in April, if I'm not mistaken. So I know Willie was very proud of Bob and the family and should be. So I know we'll learn more in coming days about that. But he's an extraordinary man, led by example, and you could do a lot worse than modeling your career after someone like Willie McDonald. So sympathies to the family, and we'll be thinking about you. I have to tell you, last month, I posed a question about, I heard an ad on someone speaking on the radio about the Cumberland Phoenix baseball team. And one of the young men that was here to talk about it, or on the commercial, said, "We'll see you at the 6." And I didn't know what the 6 was. And so we pondered that for a minute. And in the last month, I think I know what it is. Do you know?
I've heard, and
I think it's Woody Hunt's number
me right now.
I think Woody Hunt, when he had his jersey on one of the social media platforms, I saw a snapshot of Woody doing field maintenance or whatever on a bright sunny day, and up on top of the scoreboard there's a number 6, and I think Woody Hunt's number on his jersey that he was wearing out there was number 6. So maybe one of these days when you have a Cumberland aficionado university, you can ask them. But that may be what it was. It would make perfect sense.
Okay,
so,
right.
But speaking of Cumberland University, I had a chance to join you and Jerry McFarland and one of the many, I say many, it was one of the Rusty Richardsons. There has to be more than one because he's everywhere. Was at the same meeting that we were at last week at the county courthouse. happy birthday this year to Wilson County, 225 years old. And I'm sure you'll have probably more than one program about that between now and maybe in the fall when the community, if our county historian Jerry McFarland gets his team together and all the folks that showed up, I think they'll be able to pull something pretty significant off.
If it goes as planned, I believe it's the last weekend in October.
That's right. And I don't know, the longer I sat in the meeting, the more excited I got about the opportunity to do some, he created an environment where people were free to express their ideas and, hey, what about this and that? And he included everybody. And if half of that comes true, it'll be an amazing event. So happy birthday, Wilson County. So, and also before the break, we want to do that
Go ahead.
real quick. I just want to congratulate Melanie and Jarab and the team at the Lebanon Chamber. They had Your Chamber Connection come out and do a membership drive a couple of weeks ago. The energy in the room, it's the same company that did ours in April of 2022, I think. They come in and got the community together and the Hemantollers, so they were there, the C&D team. I think they probably are the godmothers from what I could tell, but just a phenomenal event, and thanks to all of those businesses that either rejoined or for the first time joined the Chamber of Commerce. I think that's something that any business in any town USA ought to do, is support your pro-business organization. And they had a great turnout. It was a wildly successful event, and I know what it takes to do half that, and they deserve a lot of credit for that event. I know Susie was over there that day. Got a lot of people excited about not only the Chamber, but the community they live and work in. So.
And as it was said one time, years and years ago, the business of America is business.
That's exactly right. You know it, and it's if the Chamber went out of business on Thursday, by Monday people would be getting together and saying, we need to work together on these issues. Let's get us a Chamber of Commerce going. The most powerful, powerless organization in town. So congratulations to everybody that participated, and thanks for those that joined.
Mark Hinsley is with us. We'll take a break right here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford. Get a battery installed on most vehicles, $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They finished up that wreck a few minutes ago on Medical Center Parkway, right near I-24. Traffic's heavy now coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County on 24 west towards Antioch, towards Nashville. Traffic's on the increase out here on 40 westbound. That's what we're looking at live right now in the Hermitage area. All that traffic in behind it there from Wilson County. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken's got you covered with catering. Check out that menu, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Lots of vintage items are being featured in an online auction from Mike Walker Auctions. This is auction number 3 from the Dorothy Hicks estate and includes antique furniture, glassware, kitchenware, tools of all kinds, toys, and a large selection of classic R&B and rock record albums, cassette tapes, and 8-track tapes. Bidding takes place through 3 p.m. Sunday. To view and bid, visit MikeWalkerAuctions.com.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane & Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. Mark Hinsley with us, the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Chief Encouragement Officer.
That's right.
All right, what else you got?
Well, you mentioned March Madness, but you failed to mention something almost more exciting going on in Mount Juliet right now, March Mobness.
Oh.
And on Fridays in the month of March, our ambassadors are doing cash mobs at various businesses. So typically around lunchtime on Friday, they have a predetermined business to go to, one of our smaller businesses, and a bunch of them get together. They know when they get there they're going to spend $10, $15, $20, which doesn't seem like a lot individually, but if you bring enough people in about an hour, there's a business that gets a real shot in the arm, and lots of social media, and they're having fun doing it, and plus get to go into some of the shops that maybe you had never been in before. Then you can be a true ambassador and a cheerleader for that business, and also get other businesses excited about it as
now,
well.
who got that going?
You know, it was either Michelle or Keisha in the office. I guess I had heard of a cash mob, but I think they saw it on one of our networking groups somewhere. A Chamber USA did it and said, "Hey, wait a second." We ran it through our R&D department. Well, that's rip off and duplicate. That's what we call it. So, hey, that's a good idea. We can do that, and we'll put a little twist on it, change the logo, and Bob's your uncle. So, the businesses seem to really appreciate it, and of course, there's more businesses than there are Fridays. So, I'll let them figure out how that's going to work. But I think it reemphasizes.
But what a shot in the arm!
Oh yeah. And if you think about it, you know, if 20 people spend $20, you got $400 that you didn't have before. You've just paid for a part-time employee for the week. And so people that aren't in business and don't have to sign the paychecks and the rent checks, I don't know that they understand completely just how thin a margin some of these businesses are forced to work with. And
that one lends me to want to just bring up something real quickly.
Go ahead.
Somebody proposed the idea of, what was it, a $20 minimum wage, I believe, in Tennessee? And I'm thinking, you have never been in business.
No, at the end of the day, if you're not producing at least as much as the business is costing you, then I would ask, why are you there? You know, at the end of the day, you know, it may not be every single hour. Hey, boss, I made you another 20. Here's another 20. And even if you did that, you're still not even paying for yourself. It's going to cost you a lot more than that. But it's somebody out of touch, and it sometimes I think the right's trying to outright the right, and the left's trying to out-left the left, and just see how wild and crazy some of this stuff can be. And it's really, hold my beer, watch this.
The right's trying to outright the.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I've not heard that expression.
Well,
I agree with you.
Yeah, you just watch it, and hey, you think that's radical. I bet I can, and it doesn't matter which end, both are doing it. You know, it's I can get even worse than that, and it makes the news. And $20 an hour. Some people say the minimum wage. We've had that, you know, pretty much since the Romans had the little mall or the little shopping area. You know, minimum is zero. If you bring nothing to the table, why should you be guaranteed much more than nothing at the end of the day? I don't get it, and we're seeing it. Take a look. You want to talk about self-checkouts and closing stores and things like that? Price your small business right out. You know, force them to pay outrageous wages for that. You can easily spend $12 at McDonald's for one person. You know, yeah. God forbid you supersize, and it's ridiculous. And, you know, really, if you think about it, the people that make the least amount of money probably aren't the ones that are going to Ruth Chris in the first place. They're probably leaning more towards the quick service, lower price. Well, now those are slower service, and they're higher price. So I think you could argue that kind of thinking is probably not helping the people that they intended it or suggest that they're trying to help. There's a question about that,
well,
too.
Well, at least you got the chamber side of it in here.
Well, you know, it's we're here to make money. And, you know, broke businesses don't join chambers. They don't employ too many people. They can't support the senior center or the youth. You don't go to the Little League park and see all those banners out there from businesses that are broke. I mean, at the end of the day, you take care of your businesses in town and make sure they're making a business making profit the right way. All these other things will take care of themselves. They can support the educational systems, and they can pay taxes that afford communities to buy those great big red trucks with the ladders on them, and the cars that, you know, the police cars, and give you the utilities. It's just without that, you're in a downward spiral. And you know, it was something like, you know, hard times make hard men make easy times make hard times, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah,
you know it,
right.
And I think we're in one of those cycles, I guess. I don't know. It's there probably aren't too many Willie McDonald's that just, hey, I'm going to plug away and do this. So anyway, that's a little bit of my editorial, probably more than you asked for, but there's a lot going on. I had the opportunity last week. I'll pull up Mayor Hutto and we'll go back and talk about what I did, which is not what I usually do, but I had the opportunity to go speak with the American Legion last week one night, and it it'll just bring. They had a. I'm drawing a blank. They had a quilt wrapping. The seniors make. Well, it's a nationwide organization. They provide a quilt for returning veterans, and they robed, if that's what you call it, I think draped or robed 3 of them at a little ceremony. I'd never seen that before, and that'll put a tear in your eye. And talk about being humbled in a room full of, true heroes. It was a room full, and I turned around and told Terry, the commander, I said, "You didn't tell me this is what I was going to be in for." I was pretty much speechless for a minute or so. It took me a while to get my thoughts together, but that was a great honor. I really like doing that, and they do so much and have done so much. So I want to thank Senator Pody and Debbie in his office, and State Representative Susan Lynn and Carson in her office. They helped put together our annual Day on the Hill. We just take a train. We get on the train at 7:45, get downtown at 8:15, take the bus right over to the Cordell Hall building, and we meet with them. And then they have the day lined out for us to meet with different folks from everything from education, commerce and insurance, TDOT. We got a chance to visit with the governor individually as our group, and that's a great day. We look really forward to that, and they make it all possible. So got to go in and watch Senator Pody in action as they were, and he recognized us in one of the committees for being there. But that's a big day, and a couple of the folks there had never even been to the Capitol, and there was at least 1 or 2 that had never ridden the train. So it was a fun day. A lot of walking, but go down and see what makes government work, I guess. So they were very gracious, and we appreciate it. We got a ribbon cutting coming up on Friday at the new Hamilton-Denson Park over on Tate Lane and East-West Division Street. A lot of outdoor fields for the youth, and beautiful facility. It's a great way to get the springtime and summer started, adding another park to your community. We do a Meet the Mayor event on the last Wednesday of every month, and this month Mayor Hudd will be back, I guess, next Wednesday. That's open to the public. Anybody that wants to come over and get caught up on what's happening on county business. We also started a program called Your State Connection, where the first Friday of every month we'll either have Representative Lynn or Representative Pody come by for an hour. So, again, providing the conduit to your legislators. So now we have representatives showing up on a regular basis from our local, county, state, even the federal level with Ray Render coming through. So we have a number of networking opportunities that go on every month. We have some dirt moving on a commercial project, grade A construction over on East Lebanon Road by West Elementary. They're going to build their corporate headquarters. It got stalled for a little while, but they got the okay on Monday morning, and Monday afternoon the bulldozers were out there working. So that's a big deal. A lot of residential subdivisions, probably at least 7 or 8 that I can think of, and those are all just north of I-40. So that doesn't count the ones that are ongoing and getting started on the south side of I-40. So there's probably 1,000 homes in the works just on Bender's Ferry, off in three or four different subdivisions on Mays Chapel and Benton Harbor.
Are most of those inside or outside the city limits?
Well, 3 of the 4 will be inside the city limits. 1 will be outside the city limits, but in the urban growth boundary. Out by Gilly Road.
Wondering about your population.
Yeah. Well, I think, Mayor Bell explained they delayed theirs a month because of the snow. I think Mount Juliet went ahead, turned theirs in. It came back, I believe it was 40,400 plus or minus, which when you take a look at the 2020 census, it was 39,400. So this, oh my gosh, too many people are moving in and all of that. Well, my math is 1,000 people in 4 years. That's 250 a month, or 250 a year, which is like one family of 5 every week or so. It's not exactly like, the floodgates are open. So I think that's whether it's managed growth well or what. But number of new businesses, I don't know if Justin's told you, but a couple of new hotels, a 30-lane bowling alley, offices, retail, commercial, a couple of restaurants. Wish we could have snagged Audrey's, Mayor Bell and the commissioners and Sarah Hastings. That's a good catch getting that one, my friends. And you also got the in and out. So bottom of the first, and we're already down 2-0. That's all I can say. So it's going to be, we got some catching up to do in the next 9 months, but that's a great catch for you folks. You don't just get that overnight. You work on that for a long time. So
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Thanks to everybody that showed out at a joint ribbon cutting between the Lebanon, with the Mount Juliet and the Lebanon Chamber at Wilson Outdoor Center last Thursday afternoon. Former Minchie's on East Lebanon Road. Mm-hmm. That's a great place. They've really spruced it all up. It looks very inviting. So when you're getting ready to make your outdoor plans for this Easter and getting the yard work done, be sure to stop down and see those guys. That's it.
We can just say that the chambers, Lebanon and Mount Juliet, are very much alive and thriving.
I would say that's an accurate statement.
All right.
And friends, too.
Much.
Thanks.
Mark Hinesley, Mount Juliet Chamber, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, and we hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. This all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot. Write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's a couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. It's just busy where you would expect this time of the morning, coming through Hermitage right now as we stare at it live on 40 westbound. Over here at Central Pike, they're on the scene of an accident in the 3900 block of Central Pike that does have some injuries. Fire EMS still on the scene there. It remains heavy 24 westbound and through the Antioch area coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Some heavy traffic developing over here on 840 going westbound there in Paytonsville. That's in Williamson County. Prince's Hot Chicken has you covered with catering. Check them out today online, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Elevate your possibilities with the wide selection of equipment from Harris Trading Company in Lebanon. Harris Trading offers sales and rentals on a large variety of construction and agricultural equipment. Golf carts, dump trailers, livestock trailers, skid steer attachments, utility trailers, and much more. See us for all of your rental and sales needs. Family owned and operated, conveniently located just south of the Watertown exit on I-40. Find Harris Trading online at harristradingcompany.com.
Starting off the day with some areas of frost around our region, then sunny skies, eventually warming up to about 68. Tonight, partly cloudy, low back down to 36. Mostly cloudy and 61 for Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They ain't no auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
Welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company here on a Wednesday morning. It's time for us to talk about Kane and Crowell, PLLC. This law firm located at 133 South College Street in Lebanon. It's the gray Victorian house built in the 1800s, and there are 6 attorneys there, and we get to talk with one of them each week at this time. Angel Kane is here this morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good morning.
How are you?
It is nice to see you, and you
as well.
You always have your smiling face, which brightens our Wednesday morning.
Thank you. I'm a morning person. I think the mayor is as well, because we both get here early whenever we have to be on Coleman.
I know what the mayor has this thing about always being early.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily mean he's in that chipper mood like you are, but he's always early.
I'm always early as well.
Well, we talk about 2 things when we talk about Kane and Crowell, either family law or elder law, and sometimes we do kind of a combination. And, of course, you being one of the originators of this, you have your part in both.
Sure. So, I've been practicing 28 years, maybe going on 29. Wow. I know, a long, long time. And I was thinking about that this morning. The 2 areas I've always practiced in are elder law and family law. The first law firm I joined in Memphis was, interestingly enough, an all-male law firm, whereas I was only female attorney, and now we have an all-female attorney with 1 male attorney. But all the gentlemen there practice either elder law or family law. And so that's what I ended up doing. And then I've continued in both those areas. It ended up being exactly what I needed, what I liked. And so, going on 29 years now.
And then there's enough in those areas to support your efforts and make it worthwhile.
Well, and Amanda and I especially, we have the experience. I mean, I think Amanda's been practicing longer than I, maybe by 2 years. So, we've handled every kind of domestic case there is, every type of custody, adoption, wills, trust, conservatorship, guardianships. I mean, that's what both of us have been doing. Amanda as well. Amanda worked for the state, I think, for a couple of years, and then went into private practice doing domestic and elder law. So these are the two areas that we know the best. And then thankfully, the attorneys that joined us have been with us so long that now they know it as well as we do.
Mm-hmm. And we don't talk that much about your location, but where you are fits things really well, at least now.
Yeah. So we're right across from the courthouse where all the divorces, domestic cases, as well as probate, estate law is handled. Judge Hagan handles probate court. Judge Byrd, Judge Hagan, Chancellor Smith, Judge Collins handle our domestic matters. So we are running back and forth all day long. We love it.
And even if you forget something, somebody can do it quickly.
All the time. And our clients a lot of times can come and meet us in our office. We walk across the street with them, or half their family can stay behind in our office and not necessarily have to wait in the courthouse. So it's been a perfect location for us. And we love our building. It's a quaint little building, and we love it.
What are you doing the most of right now? Or is it pretty much the same?
It really is. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much do half and half. I'm either working with clients on wills or trusts or, any sort of estate planning, probate, conservatorships, guardianships, or the other half of my time, divorce, custody, paternity, child support, adoptions, anything domestic. Those are the two areas I know, the two areas I love, and I love doing both. I think it's a great mix. Either way you're helping families, but it's such a great mix.
How much time, maybe percentage of your time is spent in court?
I would say at least 60% of my time is in court. I mean, it varies, sometimes I've got a week-long trial coming up, a domestic trial, so I'll be there every single day. And then I may have 3 days of estate planning appointments. So I do have that luxury of, because I get to do both, and I'm sometimes in court, sometimes not in court. But yeah.
Are most things that you present or argue in court, are they before a judge, or how many of them might be where you have a jury?
No, so I don't. Yeah, my area of law, I don't handle any jury trials. The only time I've ever honestly done a jury trial is when I practiced with my husband Brody Kane, and he was a criminal defense attorney, and I would sit second chair for him just to help him out. But my area of law in particular, we don't have jury trials.
So you just have to convince the judge.
I do.
That you're right.
I do. I have to convince our judges, and I love doing that. I love advocating for my clients.
Well, let's remind everybody of your telephone number, 615-784-4800. I don't know how you got that, but that's a pretty good number.
Yes.
784-4800.
Perfect.
And, of course, that website is www.kane-law.com. Rather short and sweet, kane-law.com, and a lot of information available there.
Yes, absolutely. Visit our website, call our number. We're always available, always willing to meet.
Well, anything you want to say, Elle, in addition before we let you go?
No, we're just super busy. I want to thank my staff. I have just fabulous staff and paralegals and attorneys. So, we keep busy. We take really good care of our clients. So certainly if there's any sort of legal need you have, please give us a call. We're certainly willing to meet with you and help you if we can.
All right. Well, we always enjoy your visit. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to see both of you.
Angel Kane, with Kane & Crowell PLLC, 133 South College. And again, you reach them at 615-784-4800. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Our guest, of course, part two. We had a city council meeting last night. I guess we did. We were scheduled to have
We did.
one. All right. So Mayor Rick is here to talk about that, and he always has a lot of good information for us, and sometimes he's got a soapbox he gets on, and that's we welcome that as well.
I may have a small one today, But first, I have to ask, have you hired a basketball coach yet?
I don't know. I'm not in the loop. We need one, don't we? Well, I tell you what, I like Jerry Stackhouse.
Yeah.
I thought Vanderbilt got a raw deal last year, not getting invited to the big dance. But this year, they just didn't have it, and I don't know. I guess it's time for a change. I have an idea he's ready to move on.
Yeah.
And I don't know who in the world they're going to get. I don't know who would even want it, to tell you the truth. To me, the way college sports have become, I can get on the soapbox about that because it's almost like they're out here competing for jobs.
It's free agency.
How much they can get paid. Yeah, huh?
It's free agency.
Well, and I just, I don't like it, but nothing I can do about it. What do you think?
I can remember as a kid, my dad taking me to Memorial Gym to see Tennessee play Vanderbilt, and that place was packed, and it was one of the toughest places to play, and the crowd was loud, and you had Memorial Magic, and this year I went down to see Tennessee play Vanderbilt, and it was pretty much empty except for Tennessee fans, and I would like to see Vanderbilt get back to the point to where it's crowded again. I feel like Vanderbilt has always been a good basketball school, and it needs to return.
Yeah, I can remember the Ray Mears, Roy Skinner rivalry, and then you had the guy that's at Auburn now,
Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, and Kevin Stallings, and I don't think they liked each other very much.
That seems to be the history of some of our basketball coaches, especially back in the Ray Mears days. That was it got a little rough down there.
Ray Mears would get out there and ride that unicycle in front of the Vanderbilt student body. Then he goes in the dressing room, getting them all prepped up, psyched up for the game. They hate you. They hate you. And then as soon as the Tennessee players would hit the door, that whole student body would be telling them where to go. I won't say it on the air.
And he calls it all.
But those that's good memories. You win some, lose some, but it was a great rivalry then.
Yeah, it was. It needs to get back that way too. We had a city council meeting last night, and there's several things that happened, and one of the ones I want to talk about first is important for the citizens on Wynwood Drive. Last night, the city council voted on first reading. There needs to be a second reading to accept the bid to replace the bridge on Wynwood Drive. This is going to be about a $500,000 project. TDOT inspects our bridges every year, and that one needs to be replaced badly. And so that's going to happen this summer. The thing I need to say is that the road is going to be completely closed during this process. So we're going to do it in the summer when school is out, try to make it easier. But Wynwood Drive, a lot of people drive down that road, and
can this be done in 10 weeks?
That's the plan. That's the plan, and so it is a highly traveled road. There are streets that can be detoured on, but those are quieter streets, so they will see more traffic. But this is something that needs to be done, and it's going to happen this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's good news. It's like any construction project out here. There's some pains that come with it, but then you really appreciate when the finished product comes around.
It is, and that happens with construction, and it's happening with you right now out with the TDOT, Hartsville Pike. But the construction is rough. It's inconvenient, and it does affect people's travel and affects people's lives, but once it's finished, it's a lot better. And after a while, hopefully you sort of forget we went through the pain to get to the good part. But that will start this summer. That was first reading last night, and I'm certain it'll pass on second reading, and we'll start working on that.
Well, mentioning the Hartsville Pike, I've just been thinking when they get that finished, there's really a busy intersection, Hartsville Pike and the bypass.
Yeah.
But all of that's going to be over. Most people are going to be, especially those that want access to the interstate, will be going to the left. So
that's right,
and that intersection will be nothing like it is now.
That intersection that's currently Hartsville Pike will be cleared up tremendously. It'll become a local road, a city street, and as you said, all the traffic will be going on the big road, which is further east. And that's good. And that's a rough intersection there too, where Hartsville Pike is. It's kind of.
That's an offset.
It's an offset intersection, and it's a tough one. So this will really help clear that up.
Well, we have growing pains right now, but we look for the finished product.
Absolutely.
Just like it will be at Wynwood.
Just like on Wynwood. Absolutely.
Yeah. What else you got?
We did have on first reading last night to buy 5 new vehicles for the Lebanon Police Department. So that's something that Chief Justice asked for, and so that was a budget amendment, and that was approved on first reading. So I'm certain that'll pass again when time comes. So it's
is this something that's not in the budget? I mean, has this come about that you all of a sudden you need this?
Yeah, it wasn't in the budget, but our revenues have come in good. So we have some money here, and they need the cars. There's a lot of wear and tear on police cars, okay. and sometimes you need them when you don't expect, and so that's something that's happened here. There's 5 vehicles. They need 5 new ones, and we had the money, so we felt like it was a good time to go ahead and do that. But at the end of this budget year, so we're happy to make sure they have everything they need to patrol the streets and everything they need to do their jobs, and part of that was also to equip those cars and get them decaled and all that too. So when it's finished, they will be fully functional for the police.
Okay. Well, we are fully functional when we get all our commercials in, and it is time for a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the Lifetime Brake Pad Guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as the customer owns the vehicle. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're still dealing with a couple of accidents out here. It's starting to slow now in Millersville through that section of Sumner County 65 southbound. As you work your way down from the north, it's still crowded on 24 westbound and through the Antioch area in from Rutherford County, Murfreesboro this morning towards Nashville. Heavy traffic developing over here now, right on schedule, actually 40 west there at Spence Lane. All that traffic coming through Hermitage and Donaldson right now in from Wilson County. Prince's Hot Chicken has you covered with catering. Check out the menu today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedar Stone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment or the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedar Stone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
We continue on this Wednesday. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is my guest as per usual after each city council meeting. Now let's get to more stuff this morning.
Well, there was one big thing on the agenda last night, Coleman. As everyone knows, year and a half or 2 years ago, the city council approved to build the phase 1 of the new sports complex on 231 South. 5 soccer fields were the first phase, and then further phases come along, and we put the bid out for that. Reliant Global is a company out of Maryville, Tennessee, that they were the only company to bid on it, actually, but it was a good bid, and we accepted it, and they came in and started construction, as people can see, and the fields are finished, and things are going well there for a long time. And then after the first year, Parks Recreations Director William Porter and Jeff Baines, Commissioner of Public Services, they've been overseeing the project for us, and after the firch year, they began to notice some issues, some slowdowns.
First of this year?
Yeah, first of this year. Okay. There were some issues. Not much work was being done, and they got word that Reliant was not paying their subcontractors, and the subcontractors, of course, since they were not getting paid, they began not to do future work. Now, we as a city, we've paid our bills, but Reliant was really struggling with theirs, apparently. And so for the past several months, Jeff and William have been working with Reliant, with subcontractors, to get that situation fixed. They felt like they had a plan to make that happen so construction could continue. It was scheduled to be finished back in February, and, you know, for kids to be playing out there in the spring. So it got to the point to where they met with me, Jeff and William, Andy Wright, our city attorney, and we made the decision to go to council with a notice of terminating the contract. And that was first reading last night. We've had a lot of discussion about it. This is an important project for this city. As I've said many times, we haven't built new youth athletic fields since 2001. This is something that's high on our list of things to do and things to get finished. The fields are ready to play on. I mean, they are ready. But the problem is the parking lot's not finished, the concession stand, the maintenance building, some of the lines that would go, utility lines that would go into to serve those. And essentially, you can't play on the fields if you can't get to them. And so what is left to be finished is really simple in the construction world. The hard part were the fields, and they're finished, but the rest of it is simply not getting done. So we made a decision, go to council, terminate the contract, to get this ball rolling. Now, second readings in 2 weeks. It's my hope that the next 2 weeks, Reliant will understand how important this project is. They will understand how important it is to us, and it's their construction job. It needs to be important to them, and they need to realize that. And so I hope that the council will not need a second reading, but if it comes to that point, we will, because, you know, this is something that we're going to miss having kids play out there this spring because of this. We want kids playing out there this fall, and this is a step we think we have to take to make that happen.
All right, let's talk about the alternatives just a little bit here. I mean, if they would see that you mean business here, you either get going or we're going to make contract null and void. That's basically what we're talking about.
That is true, yeah.
So they do have a choice still.
They do have a choice. You know, they can pay their subs and get their subs back working again.
Or if they don't, what?
So if they don't, and then Andy Wright takes control of the situation, and we see what happens from there.
Well, now, is it just possible that there could be a countermeasure to fix it where you couldn't do anything, and we're going to have 6 months of inaction?
It's possible. You know, they sent a lawyer to city council last night. He got there late and tried to speak at the end of the council meeting, and we had to suspend the rules so he could talk. And, you know, and really it was a conversation that he and Andy should have been having before last night. But yeah, you know, when he got there and he talked about lawsuit and those types of things. But and he said that could delay further. And my response to him was, well, that could be right, but right now nothing's happening. You know, and as long as nothing happens, nothing gets built. So we need to find out a way to move this thing forward, and we believe that the power we have and the choice that we have to make is to show them, guys, we're serious about this, and we're willing to take that chance to get this finished.
But I mean, you'd be satisfied with them if they just come in. I mean, their work has been okay.
Oh yeah, the
slowdown and the stoppage just is a problem.
The work has been good. Reliant is a company; they do grading work, and then the rest of it is subbed out, and they're a big company. They do a lot of federal contracts overseas for military bases and dams and infrastructure. I mean, so Reliant is a real company.
Well, do they have a genuine reason for the slowdown?
You know, they've said a few things, but you know that's internal things. I'm not sure that we know the full story about. But I just know that in this situation, you know, this is a big project for us. As I told the attorney last night, you know, outside of utilities, this is the biggest project the city of Lebanon's ever done. We're doing it for our kids, and maybe for them, well, they do these federal jobs. For them, maybe this is a small job that's not high on their radar, but it needs to be high on their radar. they bid on it. It's a job that's important. They need to finish it.
Was there any time frame in the contract?
Yeah, the time frame it's supposed to be finished last month.
Oh.
But I will say this, there were weather issues. Mm-hmm. So not getting finished last month is because of the snow and the rain and the weather. I mean, that was a deadline that did not have to hit perfect. But the issue now is that the subcontractors simply say, hey, we haven't got paid for work we did, so we're not going back. And we need to get them back out there. And as I said, what's left are jobs that people around here do all the time. The fields were the specialized part. They're finished. And now, we feel like that once work starts back, it shouldn't take but another 4 to 6 weeks to really finish it.
So the ball is sort of in your court here. If they won't do it, I mean, there's somebody here that can.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's people here who can do it, and that's a process too. Because if the contract is terminated, then we have to bid out again. Mm-hmm. But there are plenty of people who can do that work. But it's just it's a situation where we're close to the finish line. The work that's been done so far is quality work. We have no argument with that. The fields are great. I've been out there. I've been on them. We just have to be able to get to them. And the frustrating part is we're so close.
Yeah.
The hard part has been done, and we're so close. We just need a parking lot and these other things, and we can have kids out there playing. And for these issues to arise now, it was surprising, really, for us to have that happen, and we just felt like that nothing's going on, and we need to do something to get the ball rolling, and that's what we decided to do.
Well, we'll stay tuned.
Please do, and I hope the next time I'm out here in 2 weeks that I will have more positive news to report about that. That's our hope and our thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you've made a push here. You let everybody know where you stand.
Well, and when I talked to Jeff and William and Andy, one of the things I talked about was, we're just not going to sit back and just let nothing happen. We're going to be active in this situation, and we're going to push, and we're going to work as best we can to get this park finished. And we're not going to sit here and let them control the outcome. We're going to have a hand in this, and that's the whole point.
Okay, what else? We got about 3.5 minutes.
Well, a couple of events are coming up I want to talk about. On March 30th, we're having our annual Easter egg hunt. It's over behind the Jimmy Floyd Center on the lawn of the fire headquarters, and so that's going to be from 10 to 12 on March 30th, and there's always a lot of kids come out for that, and we're really excited about that. That's always a fun day, and the different age groups will go at different times, but as they're waiting for their turn, we have face painting, food vendors will be out there. We have the carrot toss. The Easter Bunny and his wife will be there to have pictures to be made, and the fire department, I'm sure, will have some surprises out there for kids too. And so I just want to thank the fire department and the Floyd Center staff and all city employees who have worked on this event, because this is a big day for a lot of kids in the city, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's March 30th. From 10 to 12 behind the Jimmy Floyd Center. And then also something we've been getting a lot of calls about. In April, we're having our annual spring cleanup where the Public Works Department comes through neighborhoods and picks up anything, things that you want out of your house, put out by the road, and we'll come and get it. However, there are some rules. It'll start April 1st. So if you want stuff picked up that first week, please have your items placed by the road by 6 a.m. on April 1st.
And that is a Monday. I look at the calendar here. Monday,
that
April
is a
1st.
Monday. Yep, Monday, April 1st by 6 a.m. And we'll pick up that first week. If you want things picked up the second week, then have your items by the road by 6 a.m. on April the 8th. Mm-hmm. And that's to ensure that we get everything. It may sit there for a few days, but that's when we'll start working, and we don't want to miss anyone. So be sure and go out there. And also make sure that your pile can fit in the back of a pickup truck. Because there are, if it's too much, then we're going to have a hard time getting it. And there are some rules as far as items we will not pick up, and so we'll put out on social media. We'll send out emails. We'll have other details about that, but just know it starts April 1st, goes through April 12th. And, this is service the city's been doing for a long time, and we'll continue to help people with their spring cleaning.
You have a special agreement maybe with the county for disposal of this?
We do. Of course, the county has their landfill out here, and so they cut us a break to go out there and take all this stuff. So yeah, that's
it's
something.
Really a great service to the citizens of Lebanon.
It is, and our guys work hard to go out there and pick this. It's not easy, and as we grow, there's more things. And so I appreciate them going out there and doing all this work for the citizens. And it's something they do every year, and we appreciate the county helping us out on the landfill part of it. And it's a service that I think is that, as I said, we've been doing it for a long time, and we'll continue to do it. It's just something that we think is a really good thing to do.
Well, we've about come to the end of our time here this morning. We've covered a lot of ground, as we say, but it's always good to have you, and thanks so much. See you next time.
All right. Thank you, Coleman.
Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, that's it for a Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.
It's our Halloween special.
I got it wrong.
We'll be playing all your favorite Halloween songs.
It's alive!
Halloween night beginning at 5 p.m.
Happy Halloween, darling.
Tune in if you dare.
Halloween's my kind of a holiday.